What is up, guys? This is Lethal Jokes, bringing you guys a theory on how Carl did not die in the mid-season finale of Season 8. First, I want to tell you guys possible reasons why the theory works, and then I'll give you guys some reasons why it doesn't. Okay, so first, we did not actually see Carl die in the mid-season finale. And this is important because The Walking Dead loves to throw some curveballs at us, such as when Glenn supposedly died in the trash can scene, or even when Carl thought his dad Rick died after the prison and he was on the couch. The point being, if we didn't see it happen yet, we can't just jump straight to conclusions. Now, how could Carl have survived? Well, looking at the comics, the next chronological storyline is that of the Whispers, which Carl, I remind you guys, had one of the most important and largest portions in that storyline. So what if the walker that bit Carl wasn't really a walker, but rather it was a person pretending to be a walker? One more thing I would like to what I want you guys to know is that you can actually see the exact moment Carl gets bit. I'll have links down below so you guys can watch the full sequence happen. And something about the walker did seem off. There is no obvious signs it could have been that it could have been a walker. I mean, there is no cuts, cut marks, wounds, or missing limbs, which doesn't seem to happen all that often anymore. A walker that is fully intact just doesn't seem to happen. There's always something missing, a limb, an arm, guts filling out, blood all over them. But this walker seemed to be as if it just happened to be zombified or just turned into a walker. Nothing happened. It seemed nothing was off about it. It just seemed like it could have been a person wearing the skin of a walker, such as the Whispers. So, is The Walking Dead leading us into another huge cliffhanger or misdirecting us like they did with other characters? I have to say it's possible. I think this theory does hold a lot more ground than most, but there are a couple of things that are stopping it. Let's look at the reasons why it could be wrong. Throughout the entire episode, it was apparent something was wrong with Carl. He had heavy breathing, he was struggling to walk, and that there were signs that he was bit. He seemed to be sick throughout the entire episode. When you guys actually watch this episode with the lens thinking Carl was going to die, which the first time I watched it, I was thinking Carl was going to die. Almost all the theory led me to believe there. So every time I saw Carl, I was just like, was he already bit? Is he going to die this episode? And it just seemed apparent. He was walking around sluggish. He could barely walk as it is. Every time he talked to someone, he talked to Michonne, he talked to Negan, he just constantly sat there and was having trouble just breathing as it is. But this is the part that I think could lead this theory to be true. That is the biggest thing that stops me from thinking Carl didn't die, is the sickness. That is what could kill Carl in this theory, that he was sick. But Gabriel is also sick. So what if that sickness that Gabriel had happened to transfer to Carl? Gabriel is just as sick as Carl was. He could barely walk. He could barely breathe. So what if Carl got the sickness from Gabriel? Or even since Carl thinks he's going to die any moment soon, he thinks he's going to turn into a walker since he was bit. Maybe he's just psychologically getting himself sick. Nevertheless, the only way to tell if Carl actually lived is when The Walking Dead returns. With that, let me know down below in the comments, guys, if you think Carl's gonna live and this is actually our first steps in seeing the Whispers.